second episode of Chaptered in the Trunk. We had to change the title. But it's okay. It's fine.
Copyright.
It's fine. No, not copyright. There was just somebody else who had the name and we didn't want to copy them. So today we're going to be talking about different book tropes. My favorite one, her favorite one, and just like the different things that they, like what they bring to the table, I guess. Everybody has their favorite ones and like what they like. We have our favorite ones and what we like and what we don't like. We'll tell you which ones are our least favorite ones too. Kelly has some least favorite ones. Okay, so the first one on our list, I have brother's best friend.
I hate that one.
I don't hate that one. I like that one.
See, for something I think is really cliche, like, it's too real. Like, it happens too much in my reality that I'm like, I don't read books for this.
No, I like it because it's not like The Summer I Turned Pretty because both the characters are brothers, but I like it because then it's like, oh, secret, like, let's sneak out, let's, like, okay, a PSA, it makes me think of our sister. It's a little real. Moving on.
To be honest, I haven't really read many brothers' best friend books.
So when I was young, I read a lot on Wattpad.
Oh,
so I read a lot of those like on Wattpad.
Oh yeah,
and I love them, but like I have read a couple on. I started reading the Twisted Love series, and I think the Twisted Love, like, that first book is brother's best friend, but I only got like 2 chapters in, and I haven't finished it yet. Nice. Why are you looking at me like that? You're like, nice.
I have no clue what the series is about.
So that's the first one that I have. I actually do like that one.
I feel like it's a little too real for me. I know I'm really staticky today.
It's winter. It's dry out.
No, because I feel like in the real world, everybody's like, I'm the little sister, and I'm just gonna date my older brother's best friend, and that's how it's gonna go.
But like half the time they're hot.
Still, though, it's a little too real for me.
Okay. I personally like that one. What about fake dating? Do you like the fake dating trope? Or like,
I do like the fake dating trope because it's absolutely hilarious. I'm there for the comedy.
Why?
Why? Why am I there for the comedy?
But
did you just ask me why I like comedy?
No. I like it. I do like that one. I know one of the Twisted series books is one of that. I haven't read it yet. But I do like that one too, the fake dating, because they inevitably fall in love.
That's how you know. Like, they're like, oh, we're gonna strike a contract and we're gonna fake date for this period of time.
But you can't fall in love.
But
if
we
you
can't fall in love and blah blah blah.
It's like the,
and you're sitting there going, yeah.
It's like the To All the Boys I Loved series on Netflix. You've never seen that because you don't watch those kind of shows.
No, but there was a movie we saw with Anna.
Oh, anyone but you.
Yeah, that one.
That with Glenn Powell and Sydney Sweeney. I love that movie.
That was a very funny movie.
That movie was amazing. I actually saw a TikTok about that last night, and it was like the Unwritten Era was last year, and I was like, why would you do that to me? I love that movie. And then I was thinking about watching it last night.
No, but for real,
but then
I have read so many on Wattpad where it's like contract dating.
Through your Wattpad era,
I've read so many because I went through my phase where I was like, contract dating is where the humor is at, because I don't get jokes, I don't. So like,
yeah.
When they're getting embarrassed, I'm like, this is comedy.
But I would rather do forbidden love than fake dating. Like, I would prefer forbidden love because you've never read it. Or, no, I've never read it because it's in another language. But the Maxton Hall on Prime Video, I don't know if you've seen, like, trailers or videos of it. It's, like, he's like rich and she's like poor and they're not supposed to be together. It's like an enemies to lovers forbidden love. It's so good. I think you would really like it. It's about like a school.
It's a very
And
common
he's like
trope.
a bad, but it's good. And
The
you're like,
rich kid falls in
you're
love with the poor
you're
kid,
like,
but his parents don't want him to be with the
yeah,
poor
and then
kid.
like he gets slapped in the face and you're like, oh, he plays
Yeah,
sports.
that's a
he
pretty
plays
common trope.
lacrosse, and I'm like, I was like, lacrosse.
I used to read a couple of those on Wattpad too.
I'm like, lacrosse. That's such a random sport. But
What you said it was in a different language. What country does it base in?
It's supposed to be in like England, but the book was written in Germany, so I'm pretty sure written in German. Don't quote me on that.
That
Somebody
makes sense.
Please let me know if that's actually correct. But
they don't play
really
football
good.
in Germany.
No, I thought he played soccer. I actually thought he played soccer, not lacrosse.
I'm not a sports fan, so I really couldn't tell you.
But I like Forbidden Love.
I do like Forbidden Love.
Wasn't the Broken Heart, Once Upon a Broken Heart series Forbidden Love that you read by Stephanie? Whatever
No, so Once Upon a Broken Heart, which is a great series by the way, even though it gets a lot of hate. You just have to have brain cells to follow
Jennifer.
along.
No, it's Jennifer. Whatever her last name is.
I forget who the author is because I'm terrible with names. But it's actually an enemies to lovers.
Ooh.
With a bit of contract dating.
Mm.
Forced contract dating. By a third party. Which makes it really fun. So, like, it's kind of a love triangle. So you have, like, the girl, enemies to lovers with one side. And then that one party where she's enemies to lovering is, like, forcing the contract dating with the other party. Of her and the other party. So he can get something he wants from the other party.
Okay.
So it's like a mix.
I don't think that's a book that I would read though.
Oh, I don't think you'd be able to follow it well enough. Personally, because
Are you calling me dumb?
No.
Did you just call me stupid? You
No.
literally just said I don't think that's a book that you would be able to follow.
No, because I feel like Kaylin, you're more into like the contemporary part.
No, I'm not.
Also, I don't think you would like the male lead.
I really like the.
I don't think you would.
I really like the yearning part, like the Bridgerton. Like you've never seen Bridgerton, but in like when he just is like so in love with Kate, Anthony's so in love with Kate.
Yeah, you
and,
don't you don't get that in Once Upon a Broken
not in
Heart.
love with his sister. He just like I love that part, and like like in Fourth Wing, Xaden is so in love with Violet. And you just know it. I love that. And like Rhysand in the Court of Thorns and Roses is so in love with Feyre, but she's with Tamlin, and
Yeah, you don't get
I'm a
that
sucker
in Once
for
Upon a
that.
Broken Heart until like the very end of book 3.
Yeah, I would not make it through.
No, you would not. But it's a very good read if you do want that kind of situation.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Not for you though.
It is not for me. But
I personally don't think you would like the male main lead. He's not your Rhysand or
What is he?
He's kind of a dick.
So he's like a Christian Grey from like 50 Shades of Grey.
And he's kind of like, I'm a broken lover boy.
Well,
and he's a bit manipulative.
I don't like manipulative.
So he's more
people.
he's more on the toxic side.
I don't like that.
So that's why I'm saying you wouldn't
wouldn't
like
that.
him. He has a lot of toxic traits.
I wouldn't like that.
You would like the second love interest more, who's more of a side
There's
character.
more than one.
I told you there's a love
kidding.
triangle.
No, I
so...
actually don't really like love triangles, to be honest, because I've been reading the Lightluck series, which I haven't read the third book yet. I started it, but then I stopped reading it because I had school and stuff. But it's good, but it's a love triangle, and I know who she's gonna end up with. Like you can't have a love triangle and then like I need a love triangle where it's gonna be I don't know who they're gonna end up with. Like I need if I'm reading a love triangle,
you need the ambiguity,
and it's like
she's
gonna end up with Grimm. Like I don't like. What do you mean, Oro? Like, oh, where did this guy come from? Like, she's just like off doing. She's gonna end up with, like, it's kind of like a lot of similarities to Fourth Wing, where it's like, oh, she had her memory removed. Like she had met Grimm before, and then her memory was wiped. Like, you know how Imogen, like, wipes Violet's memory, and then, like, she, like, something, or, so it's kind of like that, but there's a love triangle, and you know who's just gonna end up in it. I just, like, I don't like that. The three, so it's like,
Love triangles are definitely something you have to do very well, or not at all.
I'm just like, I can't do that. I just need the singular guy. Like, she could have, like, a friend who's, like, in love with her, but she's just, like, not interested. Like
Dane.
Like Dane. like Dane's in love with her, and she's just like, I like Zayden.
She's like, I hate you.
We all like Zayden. The Shadow Daddy. But the enemies to lovers is
It's my favorite trope.
favorite.
It is the funniest to read.
It is my favorite. I will write enemies to lovers all day. If it's enemies to lovers, I will devour it.
It's very
When I was reading A Court of Thorns and Roses, I devoured that. Like, once Rhysand came in, I think I read A Court of Mist and Fury in, like, a day and a half. Like, a TV show, done, devoured.
Honestly,
Eaten.
my favorite part of A Court of Thorns and Roses series was her revenge plot in A Court of Wings and Ruin. Like, I devoured that book in, like, a day.
That one took me a little bit longer to read.
I loved her revenge plot on the Spring Court. I was like, this is
That was
amazing.
really good. That was really good.
I was like, this is peak writing right here.
You peaked.
And I was
No,
like,
but
I was so satisfied to see Tamlin get his butt handed to him.
Right.
And get, like, all that karma back that he had been giving her the entire, like, first couple books. And I was like, karma hits a lot harder than you think.
No, because I was watching Little House on the Prairie when I just needed to, like, I was crocheting a blanket. And I was watching it, and Mary and Adam, when she goes to the blind school and is learning how to, like, read Braille and everything, and she hates him. I'm like, this is the original enemies to lovers. Pride and Prejudice, like, Mr. Darcy and Elizabeth Bennet, original enemies to lovers. I devour that. Like, there's... I sit there and I'm just like...
It's the tension. It's the tension that gets
and
you.
it's the longing looks, and it's the... I'm attracted to you, but
I'm supposed to hate you, so I'm gonna pretend like I don't.
I love that. And I just read My Fault, and I just watched the movie My Fault on Prime Video, and it's like, I know they're step siblings. They're supposed to be steps, but they're enemies. Don't look at me like that. It's so good.
You know, I'll have you know
so
that
good. I need you to read it.
that was
the writing.
That kind of reason was a very similar reason of why I stopped reading the Mortal Instruments series.
No, but they're step siblings, so they're not even related, and he's hot. So
Kaylin, sometimes hot doesn't cover that.
No, but it's so good. I'm okay. When I first started watching the movie, I didn't know that they were related. They weren't related.
Okay, look.
They're not.
To be fair, when I first started reading the Mortal Instruments series, I was like, "Oh, this character's great. He's gonna be the great love interest." And then at the beginning, like the end of the first book, they're like, "Oh, he's her brother."
I was like, "Whoa!" It's like, you're done.
And it was like right after their first kiss too, and I was like, "You're done.
You're done." No.
And then they were like, "Well, maybe he's not. Maybe you just lied to us." And I was like, "Okay, maybe it's just a lie." So then I read a little more, and then I was like, Nope, they're definitely siblings. So I was like, I'm done at book 4.
No, because I didn't even know. I was just like looking for something to watch one Sunday, and there was the show, and it was called, well, I kept seeing this thing on TikTok, and it was like Prime Video, and it was like this racing thing, and I was like, I really don't want to watch
racing
Fast and Furious. Yeah, there was cars in it. I was like, I really don't want to watch Fast and Furious.
Okay.
And then it was like, there was this really hot guy in it, and I was like, I'm gonna watch
Snatched.
He has dark hair, dark eyes, my type.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I was like, I'm gonna watch it. So then I went on Prime Video, and I looked. It was called Culpa Mia, and I was like, strange name for, like, I didn't realize that it was a dubbed. Like, it was filmed in Spain and everything. So I started watching. I was like, their mouths their mouths are not lining up with the words. So then I had to Google it, and it's dubbed, and I still did not look at the description. So I went back to watching it. They're like step siblings, and I was like, it's fine. It's fine. It's just a movie. It's just. And then I just kept watching it. It was so good. I just didn't stop watching it. And then I was like, that's it. And then the second one was coming out on December 27th. So, I started watching it when Anna was out here, and it took me like 3 days to watch it because Anna was here, and and then I read the books, and the books are, and then I googled it, and it was a Wattpad book, and I was like, well, that explains why the writing was like that, but it's okay, it's so good.
It was a Wattpad book, and it got into a TV show.
Yes,
interesting.
A lot of them do actually. Like a lot of the after the movie After, it's on Netflix. That was a Wattpad book. It's still on Wattpad.
Very interesting. I did not know that.
Yeah.
I thought Wattpad was like a fan fiction.
It's a really good movie. It's very unrealistic. The movie's very unrealistic. Like, there's this one scene, and, like, the cars go, and they're like, whoa. And then, like, the guy gets in the head, and it's just unrealistic. Like, that would never happen. Like, you can't do that with cars. But it's good. But my other favorite one is the enemies to lovers to enemies trope.
That one has to be done over a series.
No, I love that because that's what I write.
I definitely love it, but like you definitely have to take your time with that one. Like you can't rush it,
Right.
because if you rush it, then you're not gonna do it right. Because you have to have enough time to get attached to their you get involved in their enemies to lovers, and then you get super invested in their romantic life, and then they're back to being enemies, and you're like,
You have to develop that why they went back to being enemies.
exactly.
So
You have to be able to break that bond and tear it apart.
I still eat it up.
Well, I do too. I love seeing the insanity go down.
I'm like, oh, you're insane. No, but my favorite is when she goes insane, and he's still like sane. He's like, I'm still in love with you, and you're crazy. And she's just like the mad queen. Love it. I eat it up every time. What about Grumpy and Sunshine?
I haven't read any Grumpy and Sunshine. Not really my trope. It doesn't catch my attention.
Doesn't catch my attention because, like, I know it's possible and like it happens, but like, are you really gonna tell me that a grumpy man is gonna be attracted to a
ball of sunshine girl?
It's just hard for me to believe. I don't think I would enjoy it.
Honestly, I feel like that setting is in the modern.
It's very contemporary. It's very like modern.
And
it's not
personally,
fantasy, which you read fantasy.
I like exclusively read fantasy, either fantasy or dystopian.
And I'm just
I read dystopians too.
And I'm just getting into contemporary.
But the contemporaries, I just can't with. Like, if it is set around my timeline, I want nothing to do with it.
That's what I was having hard time.
If it's in the past, I'm fine. In the future, I'm fine. Present day, no thank you.
That's why I was having a really hard time reading Crescent City, because when I read Crescent City, they have phones, and I'm like, what is happening? What? So, but it's fine because I'm just getting into contemporary romances now with Elsie Silver's. They're cowboy romances, and I'm like, sir, what? But they're good. They're good.
I don't think it hold my attention long enough. Like, what do you?
Well, it's just like gives
what
you
do you
like.
What do you do in a contemporary romance? What do you mean you're not fighting a dragon? Like,
no, yeah. What do you mean you're not fighting a dragon? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Their end goal is literally to get married and avoid her dad's anger. Like, that's typically what it is in contemporary. But like in fantasy, they're like, demons are coming, fight the dragons, save the world, and I'm like, I eat it up. Dad wants to kill you because you decided to date his daughter? No, thank you. I'm done. That's too boring.
You know, or like you go to like the circus.
Circus books are fun. I like circus books. I got Carnival because I want to read Carnival.
Is that a circus book?
It's similar.
Is it Five Nights at Freddy's?
What I hear. It's about a game that's similar to a circus.
So like Hunger Games?
Not like the Hunger Games.
Oh.
Sort of.
You need to read Powerless. You need to read Powerless before Fearless comes out in April. It comes out on April 8th. I've pre-ordered it.
girl, we're starting the semester tomorrow.
I don't care. You need to read this book, and you need to finish Silver Flames.
You do realize that after Silver Flames, I have to read Kingdom of Ash.
I have to read all of those Thor to Glass videos. Books.
The last one's like over 1,000 pages.
Dude, I read 1,000 pages in 9 hours.
And that's
the I don't even know what I was doing. I was on crack. I don't even know what book it was. I was like 13. I don't even remember what book
Harry
it was.
Potter.
It was not a Harry Potter book. I'm gonna have to. I will look it up and I will get back to you. I don't remember what book it was because I know I took a screenshot of it, so it's like deep in the archives. I think it was actually 14 because it's on my phone somewhere. It was 1,000 pages. It was like 1,000 pages and it was like 1,090 pages long or something. And I read it in 9 hours.
Did you time yourself?
No, because I pulled an all-nighter. Because it was just so good. And I was like, I need to read this. I don't even, like, it was a fantasy book, but I don't remember what it was called. What about Friends to Lovers?
Not a fan.
I don't like Friends to Lovers. I feel like
it ruins it because
I just feel like that's too real life. Because like everybody becomes friends and then they get together and like you're just like, okay, that's like everybody's real life love story for the most part.
That's like me with the brother's best friend trope.
Like obviously like everybody they become friends and then they like have a thing and it's like I just want to read something that I'm never gonna have I feel like I'm never gonna have an enemies to lovers romance in my own life. So like why would I want to read Friends to Lovers when that's probably going to be my real romance? Like,
well, the Friends to Lovers is more like an extended period of friendship to lovers, rather than like in real world, it's typically like a short period of friendship and then to lovers.
True. So it's like that would be
like childhood friend becomes your lover. Is typically the trope.
Right. That's like kind of like that movie that we went to go see in August, that It Ends With Us, by Colleen Hoover.
Yeah.
The book, it's super popular. I've never read the book. I started reading it and I stopped reading it because I was like, I don't want to read this. But the movie was really good. It's like she ends up with Atlas and it starts with us the next book, and they were childhood friends because he was like the homeless kid and she was like the person that took pity on her and blah 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 blah.
Her.
Him.
Alice is now a girl, ladies and gentlemen.
And they're gonna end up together.
Oh yeah,
that's like the friends to lovers. I think.
I'm not a fan of it.
I'm gonna go see the movie.
I mean, the movie is great.
If it ever gets made, I will go see the movie.
It Ends With Us was a great movie. Like, great cinema. Book, I don't think I would ever read the book. I don't think it could hold my attention long enough. But the movie, because it's shortened to like 2 hours, is able to hold my attention long enough.
Facts.
But I don't think my attention span could sit for a book, even if that book is like 300 pages.
I don't know. It's like really, I don't know. I don't think I could read. I couldn't. I read like 2 pages of it, and I was like, I can't read this. It's not my type. But Anna really wanted me to read it, and I was like, not my vibe.
Vibe check.
It's not my vibe. Okay, what about miscommunication?
What do you mean by that?
I don't know. It was on the trope list.
I've never read one like that.
Actually, yes, you have.
I have.
Zayden and Violet have so much miscommunication issues.
That's a trope? Like, I thought they were enemies to lovers trope.
It is, but there's like found families a trope. That's a whole thing. There's like micro tropes. This is like a micro trope.
This is a micro trope.
Yes.
I'd never heard of it. Miscommunication definitely adds comedy relief.
Comedy relief?
I mean, yeah, if you find they're arguing funny. Or their situation's funny. Like, you're arguing over the same argument for the last 400 pages.
So that was... So, like, a lot of people... I keep seeing videos of people, like, so powerless, like, and reckless. They, like, argue about the same thing over and over again. A lot of people don't like it. I love it.
I don't think I could read Powerless then.
No. No, you don't understand. I love it. Because it's not this... It's the same thing, but it's, like, different. You have to read it to understand it. A lot of people don't like it. I love it. I love it. I love Powerless.
I know we were talking about this earlier, but I don't like it when the same plot line is repeated
yes.
over and over and over.
It's
in
like
a book
the picking,
series.
it's like the bullying of like a character.
Yeah, like a bullying of a character by a superior for like stupid reasons.
Yeah.
Or, oh, I don't like your parents, I'm gonna bully you using my authority. And you just keep overusing it.
Yeah, that's
like,
kind of really...
It starts to get dull. Like,
You're like,
okay, you did this last book for 400 pages. You're doing it again.
You did it the first book for 400 pages too.
Like, I'm done.
Haven't we moved on? Like, that person's dead, this person's dead. The parents are actually dead, so...
Yeah,
like you, like...
The same plot line repeating is one of the things that gets on my edge. And it actually causes me to not want to read the book.
Oh.
And it drags out my reading.
I see. I don't really like that either. That bothers me.
Which is why when you say that they repeat the same argument over and over and over and over, it gives me the hint that I might not be able to read and get through Powerless.
No, you will.
At least in a timely manner.
I just need you to read it because I love it. And I need to talk to somebody about it because Anna hasn't read it and I love Powerless so much.
Plan on like
the summer.
I don't know. I was thinking like fall.
No, I was actually thinking February.
Yeah, no. If they're arguing, bro, it's gonna be like a month and a half per book.
No, but I love it because you don't understand. Like, Kai and Kit are like amazing. I love them.
Wait, their names both start with K.
Yes. I love it, dude. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, moving on. Forced proximity.
Forced proximity is a fun one, but it's not like I can overdose on it. Like, I could Let
me just overdose on forced proximity.
I could overdose on enemies to lovers.
Oh, I overdose on that every day of my life.
Absolutely.
I sit and watch the edits on TikTok, and I'm like,
a forced proximity I can do for like samples here and there, like one book here, one book there. Like, I don't think I could just, like, binge read 6 books of the same thing.
I actually don't think I've... Maybe I've read a book where it's, like, forced proximity.
I read a couple of fan fictions where they were forced proximity.
Okay.
Yeah, there was a couple on Wattpad that I read. That was, like, forced proximity. And I was like, yeah, I'm not so sure about this trope. I was doing some exploring into tropes.
I'm trying to think. Have I ever read a forced proximity? Maybe the Hunger Games, the Song of the Ballad of the Songbird and Snake. I think that maybe was. Oh, I love that movie. I don't know. Maybe that was like low-key enemies to lovers too. I don't know, but he was like her guide or something. I love that movie so much. He's also really hot. But I love that movie so much.
Forced proximity is a bit like it's one of the older tropes, I think.
But also it's dystopian.
That was really loud.
Turn it down a notch, girl. I am sitting right here. Why are you holding my thumb?
Grabbed my hand.
Let's just
I'm just gonna grab you.
Okay. If you're gonna scream, hold your mic out here because I'm right here.
Yeah, I'm just gonna deaf the listeners. No, forced proximity is like one of those ones that you have to be careful with though, because half the time it can border on a lot of mental disorders. Think of like Beauty and the Beast.
What?
So there was actually a very interesting study done.
I thought Beauty and the Beast was enemies to lovers.
No.
And like, wait, that is forced proximity.
It is forced proximity
it's like,
because she's his captive.
Wait, what's that? What's that?
And there is...
Wait, what's that thing it's like called? It's like, when you fall in love with your captor.
Yeah, it's a mental issue.
Yeah, what's it called?
I don't remember, but that's where I'm going with this. There was a study done with Disney movies where all the Disney princesses actually embody a mental disorder. And you can see it with how they fall in love.
Was this one of Eric's, like, fun facts videos?
No, it was one of the videos I watched, actually. I was very fascinated. So, like, you can see it with how they fall in love with their princess.
What does Ariel have?
She's a hoarder.
Ariel's my favorite. Ariel is not a hoarder.
No, think of her collection.
Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat?
Yeah, she's a hoarder.
She's not a hoarder, Kelly. She has... No, she probably...
She's a hoarder.
Wait, so what is, like, Mulan?
Mulan?
Because that's your favorite Disney princess.
I don't remember what Mulan was.
Does she have daddy issues?
I don't think she does, no.
You don't think she has? I
No,
think she
but
has daddy
Mulan's
issues.
choice to go in
I
her
think-
dad's
I
place
think
ruined the whole movie.
I think they all have daddy issues.
Half of them don't have their dads.
Wait. But I think they all have daddy issues. Not gonna lie. Ariel has daddy issues. Mulan has daddy issues. Belle, I feel like Belle's the only one who doesn't have daddy issues. Like, she loves
Well,
her dad so much.
Elsa and Anna love their dad.
He's
Can't.
he's under the sea.
Rapunzel liked her dad.
Rapunzel didn't know her dad until she was 18 years old. What's Rapunzel's mental issue? If that's like a thing.
Bro, I only remember like Belle's and Ariel's because they stuck out to me. I'm not even kidding. You should look into it though because it's a very
I'm not
fascinating
gonna look
study.
into that, dude. That's gonna ruin my whole childhood. I grew up on those. Wait, what's Snow White's?
Snow White's?
Yeah.
Oh, I remembered hers. I'm trying to remember what it was now. Hers was really creepy. I don't remember, but it was really creepy.
That's great.
Because she's like 14.
No, that's what I thought also was like really crazy. Like, all the Disney princesses are like really young, and then all the like Disney princesses are like 20, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, hold up, teenagers getting married to 20-somethings? It's okay. I grew up on this. I'm just gonna pretend I don't know that. No, but like what about the pregnancy trope?
I hate it.
So I'm actually reading, I forget, is it one of Elsie Silver's books is a pregnancy trope? I think in contemporary I don't hate it, but like in fantasy I do. In fantasy it takes away, because we were talking about this earlier, it takes away, I don't know why I touched your shoulder, that was weird.
Because you're one of those people just like slap people when you're in a mood.
Because if it's fantasy, it takes away, like, Pharaoh was out of A Court in Silver Flames.
Yeah, she's like
the entire
entirely
book.
absent.
Granted, it was about Nesta. Love Nesta. But it's like, in contemporary it works because that's like modern day world. In fantasy, it's like she's taken out. Like, the character's
It's
taken
like
out.
it's a ploy to say I don't want to work with this character anymore. I'm just going to give her for pregnancy so she can.
But like, if it's contemporary, it gives, you can add like an enemies to lovers. Like, maybe they had a one night stand, they slept together, she's pregnant. Okay, now how do they handle this situation? Maybe they're friends, they slept together, now how do they handle this situation because she's pregnant now? Like, those kind of things. Contemporary, I feel like it works. Fantasy,
I feel like it ruins the character.
it can work if you do it right, I feel like.
Yeah, I wasn't the biggest fan of Feyre out of the. She's more of a side character. I feel like she should have been a little more present. I know I'm not finished with Silver Flames, but like, I feel like
she hasn't had the baby yet.
She should be a little more present.
The baby.
Cause
or does she have the baby?
She hasn't had the baby yet. No.
I said, or does she? She might die before then.
She might. I know there's a concern about the wings.
Did you read Azrael's bonus chapter yet?
No, I completely forgot. You didn't send it to me. You didn't send me the PDF.
You can just Google it.
I didn't know that. I was reading Onyx Storm.
I love Azrael.
To being
I
for
actually
real.
love Cassian, dude.
I was reading Onyx Storm, so
I would marry Cassian. I actually would marry all three of them.
actually I am more in favor of Azrael than I am Cassian.
What? I love Cassian, dude.
I'm more into the quiet type.
I actually love Cassian so much.
I can tell.
I love Nessa too. So okay, that's another video. Okay, what about Marriage of Convenience? You're gonna be like, I love that job. That just made me think of like all our little, when we were playing Barbies as kids, and we'd be like, our Barbies are gonna get married. Okay, Marriage of Convenience.
I've read a few of them.
I have not.
You have to have the right setting.
What books did you read of Marriage of Convenience? You're gonna be like, when I was 16 on Wattpad.
No. They're more of like light novel type.
Was it manga?
Yeah.
I don't read that, so
Yeah. So in that format, it's a different format. Typically it's set in like a bit of a fantasy world where it works. It's either in a fantasy world or you have like poor girl in modern world, family's dying. She works for a business company and she saves the CEO's something, and they end up getting in a marriage of convenience because he needs something from her.
Actually, I'm going to change that. I have read A Marriage of Convenience. I'm just going to change that. I just remembered I have read A Marriage
Was
of
it something
Convenience.
like that what I just described?
No. I just remembered.
So,
I don't read manga, so it can't be like that.
It's an okay trope. Not my favorite. It's kind of like the, what's it called? We talked about the other earlier. I'm blanking on the name. The kind of most contractual relationship. What was your term for it?
I had a term?
Yeah, not forced proximity. The one before it.
Grumpy and Sunshine? Miscommunication? None of those are the same thing.
Fake dating.
Fake dating.
It's kind of like fake dating.
Mm.
It's very much like fake dating. Because marriages of convenience are kind of like, yeah, I don't care about you, so just do your own thing. I'm only here because I need something from you.
Wait, I feel like I've seen movies like that.
It's a very common movie thing.
I feel like I have seen movies like that, but then I like fall asleep halfway.
Yeah, because it's not the most enthusiastic trope. They're not trying to fight dragons. They're literally just trying to like alleviate their mom's suffering or their business's company. Like,
oh, wait, I was gonna name a movie that I actually saw like that, but then I actually forgot what movie it was called.
Nice.
What about age gap romances?
In fantasy, it works. Contemporary, I feel like it could be a little suspicious, but I shouldn't talk about that.
Mafia, like I've never read a mafia romance.
Me neither. It's not my type.
They're like usually.
I'll take that back. I did read the first Shatter Me book, which is a mafia romance technically. I wasn't really for it. The setting was weird to me. It was dystopian. And the way it was set up, I found not very, like, pulling me in. It was a bit of a love triangle, and it didn't... You know how you don't like really love triangles because it's not done right?
Yeah.
I was finding it hard to get into the love triangle.
So, like, age gaps, like, a lot of mafia books are, like, dark romance.
Yeah.
Like, I started reading, Haunting Adeline.
I meant to ask you how that is.
I got 2 chapters in. I have, like, he's stalking her at the moment.
I saw this funny video, and it was, like, different genres of romance comparing, and it's, like, contemporary... Oh, we had our first kiss in high school. We're gonna have a baby. And we had a happily ever after fantasy. We're trying to kill a dragon. I was his tutor for saving the world. Dark romance. I stalked her first. Then I snuck into her house. I stole some things from her.
So, I haven't picked up the book since. But that's because No. That's because I started reading The Striker. And then I stopped reading The Striker, and then
What happened in The Striker that made you put it down?
I just couldn't get into it. You know how, like, when you start reading a book and you're just like, okay, this is not the right time for me to read this book. Like, I need to not read this book right now. So then I stopped reading it, and then I haven't picked up Quicksilver again since Tennessee. When we were driving to Tennessee. So I need to get back to reading it. No. I need to get back to reading it because I really like that book. Kingfisher is a really good character, but I do think that there is a lot of like that adult thing stuff that like maybe could have been cut. But that's fine. It's totally fine. I'm gonna pick it up again.
It's definitely a choice on the author's part.
It's definitely, which is like fine.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm definitely gonna pick it up again. And then The Book of Azrael that I got for Christmas, I'm super excited. That's a dark romance. It's about God, like it's the Gods of Monsters of Gods of Monster series or something. It's a fantasy book, but I'm really excited to start that book. And then Neverkeep is actually by the same authors who wrote the Zodiac Academy.
Never heard of it.
It's about vampires and werewolves and stuff. I've never read it, but
personally, I have not really been into the vampire.
And then I started reading When the Moon Hatched, which is a dragon thing.
I never really got into my vampire phase. Never really had one.
I had a Vampire Diaries phase, but in Twilight, but that was when I was 14.
No, but like I never had like a phase where I was reading a bunch of like vampire books.
Yeah, me neither.
Like that was just never a thing. Like
Well,
there was books where they went and visited some vampires, and I was like, okay. I was like, great, we're leaving, phenomenal.
Oh yeah, because like what was it? I was trying to watch something. Oh, I was like trying to find something to watch, and I was just like, vampires. I don't really want to watch vampires. Vampires. I don't really like.
I feel like
if it's not Twilight or Vampire Diaries, like I'm not gonna go out of my way right now to watch Vampire Diaries. Like I would go out of my way right now probably to watch like Twilight because I haven't watched it in a couple years, but then I probably won't pick it up until I'm like 25. I read those books. They're sitting on my shelf collecting dust now, but I don't think that I would read them again until maybe I'm like 30.
your kids might read them before you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never really had a vampire phase. I feel like, what are you to do with a vampire book for 400 pages?
Unless
So that serpent book we were reading on Boston to Boston.
On Boston.
To Boston.
Oh, the serpent in the nightshade.
Yeah, that one was interesting.
That was a vampire.
It was a vampire
by
book.
Carissa.
Yeah, but it was interesting because
or whatever her last
she
name
wasn't
is.
a vampire.
She was human.
And
I actually love fantasy books where they're human.
Yeah.
And the other people
no,
are not.
what made it better than other ones was it wasn't that like she was the prey and she was like a consort. No, she was more of like a daughter figure, and she was trying to be like, I'm trying to become one of you because I want to be better.
So
I want to join your culture,
Bella
rather
Swan.
not to be. I want to join your culture, not to get married to one of you. I want to join your culture to prove that I'm better than you.
I actually did like that too.
We should get back to reading that one.
Listening to it, but
Yeah.
you don't like audiobooks. I love audiobooks.
I don't like audiobooks.
Graphic audio. Love graphic audio. Literally, Fourth Wing. So when I read Fourth Wing and then I listened to Fourth Wing, graphic audio, that was like the greatest thing in my life. I can't wait for Onyx Storm to come out on graphic audio because I'm gonna die dead.
Yeah, you are.
Die dead.
Not the biggest fan of audiobooks. I don't stick with my brain cells.
Well, I was listening to Assassin's Blade audiobook.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually collected more information than I thought I was because it's not graphic. It's just like the voice.
It's like listening to Siri read you a book.
No, because it's actually a person. It's not Siri.
I know.
It's Elizabeth.
But to me, it sounds like Siri.
I don't know. It's Sarah J. Maas's favorite person to read her books. But I think I don't know. It's kind of like, I forgot that it was a bunch of novellas put together.
Mm-hmm.
So then I was like listening to it, and then it was like Assassin in the Sand Temple or something, and it was like chapter 1. And I was like, wait a sec, what is this a new book? And then I had to look, and it was not.
Yeah, no. Assassin's Blade is definitely a slow start to the series.
I was just like, this is. I mean, it's good.
I mean,
it's good.
some people do recommend that you don't actually read it first.
No, because then I was on TikTok later that day, and I was like watching this girl, like this woman. She was like, I was in Target, and this guy was looking at the Court of Thorns Roses book, and then he was looking at the Throne of Glass books, and then he was looking at the Crescent Cities books, and then she was like, I'm a Sarah J. Maas fan, like a big one. So then I went over and I was like, oh, like, are you looking to read this book? And he was like, oh no, it's for my wife. And she was like, oh well, you should buy the Throne of Glass series because that's her first series, and that's like. And then he went to pick up Assassin's Blade, and she said, no, that's actually the third book written or like in the series, so you should actually get or the Assassin's Blade is the third book, and then you should get the Throne of Glass first. So he got his wife the Throne of Glass series or something, and she was like, I should have said get a Court of Thorns and Roses, but it's fine. I'm doing my due diligence or something.
Yeah, because Assassin's Blade is one of those interesting things where, like, if you read it first, you'll understand more of the things and small details said in the first 2 books. Like, you'll understand way more of the references.
Well,
if you don't read it first. However, you might get more understanding of Selena's character if you read Throne of Glass first.
I actually love her name. The spelling of it, Selena.
I like her last name.
Sardothian.
So, yeah, it's definitely an interesting one. I struggled through Assassin's Blade.
Did it take you a month like it took you to read Iron Flame?
Yeah.
It did not take me a month to read Iron Flame. It took me about 5 days.
It took me a month.
I shredded through that.
It was
a slow to start for me. Like, it took me maybe like 2.5 days to read
with Iron Flame.
It maybe took me like 2.5 days to read the first 5 chapters. And then once I read the first 5 chapters, I was like, done.
No, with Iron Flame, it was a quick start for me, actually.
I was just working like 15 hours a
But
day.
once they started that repetitive arc is when I started getting bogged down.
Brennan.
So, like, I was like, I'm gonna put you over there.
Whoa, I just saw you imitating me. That was scary. You're done. Go over there. I just saw you imitate me. That was weird.
Yeah.
You just like channeled your inner me.
I do that often, actually.
When? At work? Or just like when I'm not around?
It just comes out sometimes.
You just like come out and you're like
I'll be driving. I'm at car noises now, by the way.
like that. Yep.
Yep.
When you make a turn.
Yep. I do it on my bike too.
Yeah.
I don't do pterodactyl noises, so that's just
not
you.
Not yet. Soon you'll be making
That's just
pterodactyls randomly.
That's just you.
I'm an influencer.
Uh-huh.
You're just like... Do you walk around going, hey, what is up,
my
guys?
guys?
That was actually a TikTok that I saw.
Only to Alistair and you.
That was the TikTok I saw of the Grinch.
I know, I saw it everywhere too.
And then I just started saying it.
Because you're just the Grinch.
Because it was so funny. But the car noises was actually me.
Yeah. So. Books. We're off topic.
We are off topic. It's okay. It's fine. Do you have any tropes that you like or don't like? Or to add to my list of tropes?
Bro, you had some tropes on there I didn't even know existed.
Well, some of them were micro tropes. Found family is a micro trope.
Found family? What do you mean by found family?
So, like, when they, like...
They're an orphan and
so,
they go
like,
in search for their family?
No.
Like, that kind of found family?
No, so, like, you know how Violet in... because this is, like... Or, actually, yeah, like, Violet, goes and she makes friends. Like, her mom doesn't like her. Her sister's off. Her brother's dead. Her dad's dead.
Kind of like Harry Potter. Found family.
And he makes friends, and like a found family, like that's a family. Or like Feyre goes off and is now in the inner circle, and her sisters are still starving and back at the continent, and like
I don't have much feelings on found family.
oh,
Like I don't hate it. I'm okay with it, but it's not like I love it.
oh,
It's not like I could eat it up. Like it's just kind of there.
I can eat that out.
Like, found family is one of those things that often mix with one of the bigger ones that you definitely could eat up or just chuck in the garbage can.
Oh, I would never chuck that in the garbage can. I would.
Some tropes I definitely would.
I would chuck you in the garbage can.
I know.
No, it was so funny because I was watching Endgame the other day. I just need to say this, and it's like and he goes, and Gamora goes, "You don't know that," and Thanos goes, "I'm the only one who knows that." And then I just think of that reel that's like, when I tell my sister we got her out of the garbage can, and then it's like, "You don't know that. I'm the only one who knows that." just
Holy,
I think
you are
this is
like
the funniest thing ever.
a year and 6 months
and
old.
I started laughing about that. It was so funny when I was watching it. I cackled so hard. I was crying. And then I had to go find it and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
I also am convinced my phone listens to me.
Oh, mine does too.
Because after I watched Endgame, I was watching TikTok on the toilet as one does. And a commercial came up. And it was like the guy, like the magician guy that does the crazy like transitions.
Mm-hmm.
And he has like spaghetti on his shirt. He's like, I just got off of work. It was a Tide commercial. And like it's Endgame, the fight scene when the creatures from Thanos come to Earth for the first time in London, and it's Iron Man and Doctor Strange fighting in the back, and I'm like, what?
So my phone will sometimes turn on when I call for Steve because my phone will pick up and Siri will activate.
My Siri's not activated. I don't have Siri turned on.
So like Siri will think I'm calling for him when I call for Stevie.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
Well, like I had been talking about Onyx Storm all week, and now everything is Onyx Storm on my phone. And I'm like, I haven't searched Onyx Storm.
No, I've been trying to keep it out of my feed because I don't want to have like any spoilers because I'm like halfway through. I'm trying to avoid severe spoilers. So like any Imperium thing that pops up on my feed, I'm like, swipe it real quick.
You're like, I don't want to see
I was
that.
like, I don't even want to see if it's even related to the first book or to that second book. I'm swiping.
Right, because it might be like, oh, this was like said in the first book, and now it's said in the second book, and then the third book.
Yeah, like I'm like quickly swiping. I was like,
You're like, I ain't doing that, sugar.
No.
I also didn't know that Kristen, whatever her face's last name is, that was kind of rude. Kristen, the lady who played the original, Glenda the Good from Wicked on Broadway, played Rosetta in Tinkerbell.
That's hilarious.
And I was watching a video about that on TikTok, and I was like,
I can see it. I can so see it.
what?
I can so see it.
And I just so sad. Oh, and then I was like thinking about the Barbie movies when we were kids, and Fergus, the ugly troll.
We talked about this the other day.
No, because then I was at work yesterday, and one of my clients showed me a reel, and it was Fergus, and I was like, oh, crazy that we had just thought that.
We're off topic.
We're off topic again. It's fine.
Do you have any more tropes?
I don't have any more tropes. Do you have any more tropes that I
No.
can think of? I can't think of any more. There's so many out there. I think there's like 30 something or more.
I mean, there's tropes that don't involve love, but
I know.
there's the adventure tropes like save the world.
Save the world.
Or like dystopian ones constantly have the tropes like there's this evil government and we need to overthrow it. Like that is a trope in
That's
every
like the
dystopian.
Maze Runner, right?
Kinda, yeah.
And like the Hunger Games, not really the Hunger Games.
And Divergent.
Did you watch the show Divergent? Because I kind of want to watch that show.
The
But
show?
Yeah, there's a show called Divergent, and it has Shailene Wood in it.
There's 3 movies.
And then there's it's a movie.
There's 3 movies.
I thought it was a show.
No, there's 3 movies.
I thought it was a show.
Blonde girl.
It's Shailene Wood. And
I don't
then-
remember
and then
names.
Theodore, whatever, James, I think is his last name. Theodore James. And he has a really deep voice.
4.
4. He's like, I'm 4. And then the character's like, oh, well, if we're picking numbers.
Yeah, that's the movie.
Oh, I thought that was a show.
No, those are 3 movies.
I kind of want to watch it, but then I'm like,
They're really good movies, actually.
You've seen it?
Yeah, I watched all 3.
I was like, I don't know if I want to, like, watch, like,
My-
commit to that.
My personal favorite is number 1. But the other ones are pretty good.
Okay. Should I watch?
Yeah, you should.
Am I going to get bored?
I don't think so.
If I watch
There
you
is
need
love.
to watch
There
the
is romance in there.
I know, between 4 and Shailene Wood's character. I don't know what her name is, but you need to watch Ballad of the Songbird and Snake.
I have to watch the other.
Nope, because this is the prequel, so you can watch this one first. And I won't beg you to watch the other ones, because I don't really like the other ones. Just this one. I need you to watch this one. I need you to.
Grace keeps saying the same thing. She's like, you need to watch this.
I need you to watch it. It's on HBO Max. I'll give you my login. I need you to watch it.
Yeah. We're off topic again.
I know. Okay. I don't have any more tropes.
Me neither.
So if you don't have any more tropes, I guess we can end the video here.
I guess so. We don't want to bore everybody with.
No, we don't.
Weird
Okay.
tropes.
Well, I guess this is the end. We'll have to see you next week.
Thanks for listening on.
Hopefully Kelly will finish Onyx Storm so we can talk about it. Because I finished it last night.
I'm a slow reader, guys.
So I know what happens.
Very slow reader.
Please like and subscribe.